Hey everybody, Questwise here, and today I want to tell you something you might not know about me. I love history. I don't know if I've ever mentioned it in any of my other videos before, but I'm a huge fan of history. Went on to college to study history, and have always had this sort of lifelong love affair with history. The thing that got me interested in history, believe it or not though, was the Advanced Dungeons and Dragons second edition Player's Handbook. And that was because they had little sidebars on some of the pages that would reference historical things. So like when they had pages about the fighter or the warrior class, there would be hints at, who were historical examples of that, being like Alexander the Great or Charlemagne or King Arthur. And so I began to read more into those things. I wanted to learn about who these people were and quickly grew into this intense love of history. So now, whenever I get the chance to sort of blend my role-playing experience with history, I'm a very happy boy. And today, I found the game that perfects, the game that encapsulates everything I love about history into one book, and that is Lion and Dragon by RPGPundit. This book is, first off, the book is beautiful. I don't know how well this is going to capture on the screen, but this very classic, very medieval artwork is just captured in this. And this is a print-on-demand title. This book it's beautiful. Really gorgeous book. Very well done for print-on-demand. This is through... I got this through RPG Now or Drive-Through RPG, one of the two. I think it was Drive-Through RPG. But overall, the book is beautiful. It's print on demand, so I'm not sure how well the binding will hold up over time. It's simply glued. It's not, sewn or anything, but it's print on demand. So, understandable. Once this game becomes popular enough, though, and it already is. I mean, it's really hitting the tops of the charts on all the sort of drive-through RPG and RPG Now. It's hitting, bestseller status and stuff, silver and gold and all, whatever all that means. But it's really at the top of that thing. But I would love to see this thing go full production, straight on. Great stuff. Now, I've heard of RPGPundit in the past, and I've looked at a few of the things before on Drive-Through RPG, and I never really have to honestly say I never really gave them a fair chance. I never really sort of dove fully onto the thing. When I heard about Lion and Dragon, I was fully intrigued. Now, if you don't know, Lion and Dragon actually takes place. This is kind of one of their a later book. The most popular one would be like Dark Albion, the Rose War, which was more of just a setting book for an OSR. Any OSR games that was set based upon medieval England and in Europe as a whole during the Rose War, which would be the War of the Roses. But it was a setting book, and it was sort of system neutral, more for any kind of OSR, old school Renaissance type games. That being said, I think the popularity of that book really warranted the fact that these guys make a full-on game, a full-on OSR game. And that's what was done here in Lion and Dragon. Now, Lion and Dragon doesn't have so much of a tie to the Dark Albion thing. It can be completely separate. I haven't really decided yet. I haven't picked up Dark Albion in PDF or hardcover. I'm a sucker for a print copy. PDFs are nice, but they, I'm old school. I'm an OSR kind of guy. I would prefer to have a book in a hard, at the table with me as opposed to a PDF. But I haven't picked up Dark Albion yet. I'm because of this, I'm extremely interested though. I'm very, very much leaning toward that. But the thing that really draws me to this is that it describes itself as being medieval, authentic OSR role-playing, and it does just that. First of all, like I said, the book is beautiful, but the artwork inside is, let me find a great page. Yeah, all right. The artwork in this is phenomenal. If I can get the camera to focus there. Now it's all sort of drawn from public domain art, but that art that is based on like old German woodcut art, that kind of stuff. I've heard a few people online say that there's too much art in the book, because there's several pieces, if not more, on every page. I love it. I think that's genius. I think it's beautiful. It really captures the evocative feel. And while there's a wide variety and range of art styles, they're all medieval art. I mean, it's all, drawn from all sorts of, my guess is like, English sources, French sources, German sources. It's all beautiful. It's all fantastic. So if you're looking for just a beautiful, classical, medieval art style book, this is the book for you. And it is literally filled with artwork, overflowing with artwork. For me, one of the things I have always been fascinated by when it comes to history is the historical study of magic and the sort of, I don't want to call it balance, but the rivalry between the church and the studies of magic at those time periods, and how the church, some of the church officials, those people, they also sort of dabbled in some of these, what we would call it, in magical practices. Now, what they've done in this book is they've completely revamped the entire magic system. There's no more of a Vancian magic system in there. That is completely gone. They have kept the rule. If you're a fan of OSR games, if you're a fan of D&D, the rule set for this will be very easy for you to catch up on. It's very, very simple. It is a D20 based roll. Add some modifiers, hit a target number, and you're good. You're successful. So if you know any of that kind of stuff, you're a shoo-in as far as the rules go. And that's what I love about it. I don't have to learn a whole new rule set to enjoy this game, because there's a lot of stuff going on here that's new. I didn't want to have to learn a whole new rule set, and I'm very, very comfortable with, this old school set of rules, the D20, sort of classic D&D type of rules. Again, like I said earlier, I've always been very interested in the medieval historical studies of magic. And this game captures it so well. The author of this book, and I don't know him very well, I've only talked to him maybe a few times online, really knows his shit, really knows this stuff well. The magic system, this traditional Vancian magic system that came with D&D since the very beginning, and if you don't know, the Vancian magic system is based upon the art of the author Jack Vance's stuff, who Gary Gygax was a very big fan of and wanted to encapsulate that idea of you learn these spells, you memorize them, you cast them, you forget them, you have to rememorize them. This ongoing process of thing. It's not very historical when it comes to sort of looking at the studies of what at the time would have been considered magical practices. So the Vancian magic system is replaced with details on summoning, and not like summoning in some other games where you're just like pulling out these vast creatures, like reaching your hand in the hat and pulling out these giant creatures. This is like summoning spirits, summoning demons and devils and that realm of thing. And while yes, sometimes to do your bidding, most of the time when you're doing this, it's to learn secrets. It's to learn knowledge from them. You're drawing them from their plane of existence to seek knowledge from them, whether it be things about medicine or lost history or any of the, anything like that. It's more of that sort of sense of drawing knowledge from forbidden sources, that type of an idea. It's done in a sense that is very well researched. The idea that you must, and then there's lots of, you got to get the book. You got to get this book. It's phenomenal. So the idea of summoning sort of comes from the idea of like, you have to have a number of things in place. You have to have the right tools. You have to know how to create the summoning circles. You must know the rituals. You must know the spirit's name. I mean, there's all this kind of stuff in here, but it plays out very well. It sounds very detailed. It sounds very thick, and it sounds very difficult, but it's not. And that's what's great about how the author did this, is he made it very accessible to an OSR game. I didn't think this was possible. I didn't think that the idea of using the standard old school rules and making it feel very historical was very possible. And this, it's done it. Lion and Dragon has encapsulated that. So beyond just summoning a magic, summoning for magic, there's also alchemy, broken down into puffery, which is considered like, stuff that, creating potions, that kind of stuff, to true alchemy, things like the Philosopher's Stone and creating, one substance from another kind of a thing. There's also, I'm forgetting a part of this, and it's astrology, and the idea of sort of studying the planets and the stars and the alignment, and whether that's going to prevail with a preferential like date to have a ceremony, or a child being born, or this kind of stuff, or the king being whatever. It's amazingly well done. Folks, I don't know. I can't say enough about this. Lion and Dragon. If you haven't picked this up, I got the hardcover. You can get it in softcover as well. The hardcover is for the amount of quality and the excitement I have about running this campaign, or using this to run a campaign. The price is phenomenally cheap. It's if you consider that some of the modern day other games that are out there right now in hardcover being $50 or more, this is half that. And I think it has twice the potential. If you love history at all, you're going to want this book. This is not, I should say that this is not going to be a game for everybody. This is not a game about murder hobos. This is not a game about, running out and slaying armies of orcs and goblins. Now, goblins and orcs and all that stuff are in here. There's all the creatures and stuff in there that you would expect from a medieval sort of fantasy world. Dragons and such, but done in a more medieval historical feel. It's going to be one of those games that plays out a lot more like Game of Thrones. It's a story about relationships. It's a story about stories, politics, diplomacy, a rise to power, those types of things, those types of stories. It's not about dungeon delving, though that's possible. It's more about this interaction between peoples and exploration. There's some exploration in there. It's really, it's the story of your character sort of living in this world with this historical backdrop, and all the great historical grittiness that's there, and you can feel that grittiness in here. Life is not easy to live in that time period. So yeah, I can't say enough about this. Like I said, check this out, Lion and Dragon. Again, I haven't checked out the Dark Albion yet, but I'm hoping to soon. And hope you all enjoy this review. If you have, hit the subscribe button down below, or the like button. And please share this. Share this with your friends, and go check this out as soon as possible. Lion and Dragon by RPGPundit. The medievally authentic OSR RPG. Thanks for watching, everybody. I'm Questwise, and until next time, I'm out.